Hi everyone! In this video, I'm going to talk about the art of using Agile to manage life goals. I'll be explaining how you can use a well-defined approach for goal management. You can apply this for your study, work, or any other personal goals. So let's get started. LinkedIn conducted a survey with more than 6,000 global professionals and found that just 11% of the respondents regularly complete all the tasks and achieve the goals they have set. Why do you think the other 89% fail? Well, it can be for the following reasons. Too many items on the list, not setting clear goals, not understanding where to start after the list is ready, having unrealistic timeline, not having a proper plan to achieve them, and the list can go on and on. If your current approach is not letting you achieve what you want, well, it's time to try a different approach. Remember, if something is not working, you change your approach, but never ever give up on your goals. The well-defined Agile approach I'm going to talk about will let you work towards attainable short-term goals, bring more visibility to how you are going to achieve your goals, provide the ability to change your plan if it's not working as you expected, benefits are realized early while you're still progressing with your goal plan, make the journey less stress and more enjoyable, and the bonus point is you can reflect and learn. Without further ado, let me introduce you to the concept Scrum. It is a famous Agile framework for developing, delivering, and sustaining complex products. As a senior business analyst, I have been working with Agile and Scrum for more than 6 years. And trust me, I really see the value in using Scrum, and it has helped my project teams in many ways. While the Scrum I'm talking about is most frequently used by software development teams, its principles and lessons can be easily adapted to any kind of task. This is one of the reasons why Scrum is so popular. Now, let me explain the core idea of Scrum. When setting goals, most of us tend to plan big. For example, most of our goal plan will be similar to run a marathon, finish the certification, write a blog. See, they are very broad and we tend to set our goals at a high level. Have you realized we don't spend enough time planning how we are going to achieve them? Since we don't plan it well, we end up procrastinating or fully forgetting about them when the time passes by. Scrum eliminates the biggest problem in planning. It enables us to break the big pieces into manageable small chunks, which are specific, measurable, attainable, relevant, and time-bound. I have tried this approach and witnessed how effective it is in planning personal goals. Let me give a glimpse of how it works. First, start with creating a backlog of goals and let's call them a goal list. You can have goals such as improve public speaking, write a blog, read a book, and learn to play guitar. Then you prioritize them based on how important they are for you. Not everything is ultimately worth doing. You should start first on the items that deliver the most value. As you make progress, you might find that some of the other items aren't as important as you thought. You can ask 2 simple questions to assess the importance. How much impact does it have on your personal growth? And what's the urgency of the item? You can ask other questions to assess the importance as well, such as what the effort to achieve this or demand in the industry for this goal. It's totally up to you on how you prioritize them. Now, as you prioritize, start rearranging your backlog. During your planning phase, take a couple of goals based on the priority order and decide how to complete them. Break each goal further, let's call them subtasks. So, to achieve this goal, you have to complete these tasks. For example, if your goal is to improve public speaking, the task that you will be preparing for will be selecting a topic, preparing a 10-minute speech, preparing cue cards for your speech, doing 2 practice runs so you're well prepared, and speaking at a local Toastmaster club. And it's same with learn to play guitar. These are the tasks you will be completing in order to achieve your planned goals. Now, your goal list will look like this. Prioritize list of goals. In Scrum world, we call it a backlog. First half of your backlog will have goals and detailed subtasks on how we are going to reach there. Second half with high-level goals. Keep them as is. When you find time, you can start elaborating them as same as how you did your first batch. Remember, when you find more goals or subtasks, keep adding and reprioritizing them in your backlog. Now, start estimating each of these subtasks. This is merely to understand your effort needed to complete each task. Let me tell you an easy technique. Get the standard estimations, small, medium, and large. If you want, you can add extra small and extra large and assign estimated numbers to them. You can use this table and assign these points against the sizes. The numbering technique in Agile is called as Fibonacci sequence. Remember, these estimations will differ from person to person. Let's take an example from our first goal, improve public speaking. Selecting a topic might require less effort for a person who has experience in public speaking than to a newbie. Second subtask, preparing a 10-minute speech is definitely not easy as just selecting a topic. It requires having a template and working on the content. For a person like me, the effort for this will be medium. And preparing a cue cards for a speech is not easy as selecting a topic, but not hard as preparing a speech. So we can assign the point in between, extra small and medium, which is small. As I told you before, the effort to do a particular task fully depends on how big or small it is for you. Now, plan your first cycle. In the Scrum world, we call it a sprint. To make it more fun, you can name each sprint as a Friends episode. For example, the one where I learned to play guitar. Once you assign points, then decide how many points you can work for 2 weeks. Why is it 2 weeks? Because sprints are usually 2-week cycles where you work on items from your backlog. Therefore, you should only take the number of items that you think can be finished within 2 weeks' time. Also, you don't plan all the work for all the tasks in the backlog at once. This is the key idea of Agile. You want to complete some work and then evaluate how things are progressing. Between sprints, then you decide whether you should alter directions or continue your same focus. Alright, let's decide how many points you think you can complete within 2 weeks' time. My advice is, when you are trying this approach for the first time, be realistic. Just pick a few items to try it out. Maybe, to start with, pick the item worth 10 points. I know it will be difficult initially, but when you get the hang of it, you will know exactly how many items you can manage within that time frame. Not just you. Even big Scrum teams find this as a difficult task to do. So don't worry, you will just do fine. And the beauty of Agile is, you can self-reflect and change things. For example, initially you took on board only the item which added up to 10 points, but later you realized that you can do more items. So for your next cycle, you can take maybe 15 points worth of items. Amazing! Now you have a detailed goal plan for 2 weeks with a clear start and end dates. You have your main goals and subtasks on how you are going to achieve them. So now you're good to start your first sprint. One of the key principles in Scrum is to continuously assess your progress and ensure you're on the track for completion. In the Scrum world, we conduct daily stand-up to ensure this. So, each morning you can briefly look at the items in your sprint and single out what you plan to work on for the day. I like to use a virtual Kanban board that reflects the item I'm working on. Ask yourself these 3 questions to assess your progress. What did I do yesterday? What am I going to do today? Is anything getting in my way? Those are the blockers. If so, how can I fix and move forward? So now you're done with your daily planning and continue doing it every morning for the next 13 days till you finish your 2-week cycle. At the end of 2 weeks, you could have potentially achieved what you want to achieve. During the 2-week sprint, try to complete all the tasks you have set out to do. You shouldn't alter your course during the sprint. You work on what you have planned to accomplish. The most asked question is, how should I tackle each sprint items? Well, that's kind of up to you. The key is to complete it. By the end of the sprint, you should have a visible output. Upon the completion, conduct a review on your progress to assess if you have done them well. Are you going in the right direction? Get feedback from others if possible. And if there are any additional items you want to add to your list, remember, the goal list is a living backlog and you keep updating them when required. After a sprint cycle, identify any impediments and other processes that aren't working. Maybe you're not getting a couple of items done each week because you're too tired. Maybe you're spending too much time in your escape zone and losing focus on the task. Maybe you need to alter tasks more to avoid getting bored. Identify some of these impediments and try to remove them. You may not be able to remove all of them, but at least you're removing 1 or 2 of the items that are dragging you down. You can self-reflect and assess using the following questions. What worked well as planned? What didn't work as planned? And how can I improve my approach? All these lessons learned you can reapply on your next sprint planning. We call this retrospective on the approach. Then you choose the next chunk from the prioritized backlog and the cycle repeats. That's it. Now you have a proven framework to plan and manage your personal goals. Let's take a step back and summarize each step. Create a backlog with all your goals and call it a goal list. Prioritize them based on the importance. Take a couple of goals and start making a detailed plan on how you are going to achieve them. You call them subtasks. Start assigning sizes or points to each subtask to estimate your effort to complete them. Once you decide how many points you think you can complete within 2 weeks' time, start the sprint cycle. Daily, have a sprint stand-up and ask yourself 3 questions. What did I do yesterday? What am I going to do today? And is anything getting on my way? Those are the blockers. If so, how can I fix and move forward? Repeat it for the next 13 days. Upon completing the sprint, review your work to check your progress. Meanwhile, if you think you need more subtasks or new goals, keep adding and reprioritizing them on your goal list. At the end of the sprint, conduct a retrospective to assess your approach by simply asking the 3 questions. What worked well as planned? What didn't work as planned? And how can I improve my approach? Then, you choose the next chunk of the prioritized backlog and repeat the cycle. Well, seems to me that with a little modification, you can use the world's famous Agile framework to work on our personal growth. The whole point is, now you have a defined process and instruction on how you can set your goals and work towards achieving them. Initially, it might be a huge process, but when you get the hang of it, it becomes easier. As I mentioned before, this framework or approach will provide the following benefits to you and pave the way to success. It brings more visibility, ability to change if required, early benefits realization, less stress and more fun, reflect and learn, and attainable short-term goals. So, what do you think? Can you apply Scrum processes and best practice to better manage your personal goals? Thank you so much for watching this video. Please subscribe to my channel to watch more videos on personal growth and positive mindset.